In this video, I'll explain ways you can negotiate the purchase price following your survey. Negotiating the purchase price of a property after a survey can be tricky. But remember, your initial offer should have been subject to contract and survey, so renegotiating is perfectly acceptable. Phrases such as gesundering are simply made up to put you off negotiating. Don't let it. 1. Firstly, you should read your survey report, at least once. In this initial read, you should identify potential negotiation points and clarify the report's consents as necessary with your chosen surveyor. 2. Obtain quotes from reputable builders to understand the cost of rectifying defects. This information can form the basis of your negotiations, but remember, the cost of works is only part of the process. You may have to replace carpets, redecorate, etc. In addition, you will have the disruption caused during works, so factor all this into your negotiations. Remember, by undertaking works your seller didn't complete, you are effectively doing works they could have done before the sale, so it's perfectly reasonable to make them pay towards the cost. After all, they saved money by not completing the works, didn't they? 3. Keep a written record of all discussions with the vendor or estate agent. Ensure any offers are subject to contract or marked without prejudice if that's appropriate. Discuss this aspect with your legal advisors. 4. Always maintain honesty. Don't claim defects that don't exist, as it can destroy trust, and along with it, your chances of a price reduction. Find actual defects in the survey report, e.g., defects that the vendor may not have realized existed. 5. Don't share the entire survey report with the estate agent. Yes, your estate agent may want a copy, but they don't need or indeed deserve one. If they want you to prove the surveyor's comments, then merely send them a snippet from the report. Identify sacrifice points from your report, for instance, things you could have seen on the property viewing. Defective glazing is an obvious one, but can you think of any more? Highlight to the seller or their estate agent that you're willing to accept some things, but not those you have since found out about in your survey report. If appropriate, mention to them that they could and possibly should have told you about such defects. If they claim a defect was factored into the offer price, ask why they didn't mention it. If they had done so, perhaps your offer would have been lower to reflect the defects you now know about. Keep negotiations friendly and professional. There's no need to be aggressive in your negotiations. Simply be factual and use examples found from your survey report. If the vendor resists a price reduction, consider other concessions, like them taking fittings or curtains with them. Remember, if you don't buy the property, the next buyer will likely face the same issues. So remind the seller of that, perhaps saying something like, "We are only highlighting defects other buyers, if you put the property back onto the market, would also highlight." Convince the seller that you're still interested, so it's in the vendor's interest to negotiate with you rather than relist the property and have to do so later. Happy negotiating!